Wow, this group is on, Rosie. Rosie just refreshed and saw about 30 of you.
I know, big smiles over here.
Actually, we have, I think, 25 on right now. So
Good.
Good. I see people from East, Monroe, some elementaries.
9, 50, 33, Youth and Justice.
All right, great. So let's get started. So last year we had a big Chromebook initiative in the district, and Chromebooks were introduced in quite a few of our schools, and that forced the Google a Google account, which is actually a good thing. So in order to use the Chromebooks, you need a Google account. So Google accounts were created for all district employees, not just students, teachers, but everyone has a Google account. And you do not have to be in a school with Chromebooks to take advantage of Google Classroom or the Google apps. You just need a device. So that's a little bit of background. Now, everybody has an account, but how do you log on? Well, you may be in your Drive and using this account, or you may not have ever known you had one. It's your ID at RCSD 121 or 121.org. So think of the goal is one computer to one student. So your ID at RCSD 121.org. And it's your district password. When you change your password on your PC, it changes like within a second, your Google account. So it is connected. And this is the same with your students too. So students use their full ID, the full 890, with the same rest of the email or username. And their default passwords, like the day before school starts, all passwords are set to the default, the 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 4-digit year. So they can actually log on to a Chromebook or to Google with that. If they change their district password on a PC, obviously it changes in Google too. Okay, so that's kind of just some need to know info for you. So let's get started with Google Classroom. How's it going over there, Rosie? I like to put Rosie on the spot when she has no idea.
Let's just keep going.
All right. So first we're going to talk about what Google Classroom is, and we do spend a little bit of time on this to make sure you really get a good feel for your options and what it is and what it isn't. So it is a way for teachers to assign and collect work digitally. It organizes the assignments, and you can easily communicate with students when they're absent. It's all there in their Google Classroom, okay? Or if they're present at school. It manages, and we'll show this, it does a lot of the back end work of using Google Drive, Google Docs, and file naming, and the organization. It does all this for you, okay? And we'll show you more, but it does a lot of that back end work. It's very easy to use. And again, it simplifies that workflow. Okay? We've all been here, right?
Exactly. I really like the way that looks. And correcting those papers, going paperless, that looks nice.
Right. So now you're just on your phone scrolling through and leaving comments.
You said on my phone?
Oh, that's coming later. Sorry.
Okay.
At the end, yeah, on your phone. Droid or iPhone, doesn't matter.
Oh, wow.
So what is Google Classroom? What is it not? It's not a grade book. You can put grades in, but it's not your power teacher. Okay, it's not a management system. We already have that SMS. It is not a robust learning management system. We like to think of it, where e-learning is a robust one, or Moodle, it's more of a light version. It's designed to work with all of those solutions we already have, PowerSchool, PowerConnect. It's not replacing those. Okay. Good. So you have some options digitally as a teacher on how you work with your students with their Google Drive and the documents or the presentations that they create. So you can have your students create and then share with their teacher. Okay. The teacher gets an email or in their Gmail, or the students just say, I shared it with you, and they go and to their Drive and they can see the work. So we're no longer using flash drives going around to every computer, right? You can print their work from your computer. You can comment on it. So that's one way. And I'm just going to take a minute and show that. Okay, so as a student, this is their home page. They can click on their Drive. And a student would click on New, and if you wanted them to do a writing. There's lots of pop-ups like that whenever something's new with Docs or even with Google Classroom. It's always good to read. So as I'm Joe now, Joe student, I open a doc. Now think of all the things I'm doing. I have to name it, so I'm going to click on it. Response. Title and add my name.
Oh, so you had to create a doc. You have to name it. Okay. Normally what we do in the classroom, if we got out a piece of paper, wrote our name on it.
And I'm still going to put my heading on.
Okay.
And then I can start my paragraph about responsibility. Okay. Today's. So now I've finished my writing. And when I want to share it with my student, my teacher, I click on that blue share button. And I'm going to choose my teacher. I'm going to put USADA in. I click on that, and I can share it with my teacher. Okay, so that's one way to use the Drive. And there's nothing wrong with that option. Okay, to share files. So kind of the student is control. They create something, share it with the teacher. The next thing is Google Classroom, why we're all here. And with Google Classroom, the teacher creates an announcement, an assignment, or a question, and the students create or use documents, and then they turn them into their teacher through Google Classroom. So and we'll show you more about this, but they don't have to go into the Drive. They don't have to name it. All that's going to be done for them through Google Classroom. And you'll see a lot more of that. The last option is through e-learning. You're all logged into e-learning to take this class. You can have your own domain and your own class through e-learning. This would be a teacher would create the coursework. There's a lot of options for customizing your class. Students get content, submit assignments, submit work through e-learning. Okay, much like the things you would do in the online component of this class. And that class is creating a virtual class. It's called Flipping Classroom. And there's a 6-hour class to take that. Okay, so those are our options here. And I think it clarifies, you know, what you can do out there. All right, so we're going to jump ahead to the student view. Let's get on with Google Classroom already. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. No, now you'll have a better understanding. So we're going to show the student view. And when we're done, we're going to ask you what you notice or wonder about the student view. Okay, you don't have to do that now, but after. So I'm going to close this. When a student opens up the student landing page, there is an icon for Google Classroom, this one. Okay, so they can click right on there to get to Google Classroom.
So it's nice and handy, easy access.
It is. I'm going to go like this, and it's going to show 2 classes. The first time a student logs in, they're going to have to choose their role. There's a picture, and they're going to have to choose their role as a student. Okay, so that's just the first time. And then they'll see like this, their classes. This is a class I'm in. This is a class I've been invited to. So I can just click on the name, and I go right into the class. Okay, so I'm Joe student. And I'm here on the stream. Okay, and Google Classroom has like kind of a Facebook social media, that stream, the newest item goes to the top. And I'm going to come down here. And this is new as of how many, 2 weeks ago, Rosie?
Yes.
Okay. So you can have a lot of different things in your stream. Your teacher posts these. And one of them is a question. Your teacher can post a question, character trait of responsibility. Okay. Please give an example of what a responsible person may say or do. Okay. Classmates will see your answer. So as a student, I can type here, pick up. When I submit this, the whole class is going to see my answer. So this is kind of like a discussion board online. Okay.
So my classmates not only get to see my answer, but they can actually respond and post comments back and forth. And I can have feedback not just with my teacher, but with my other classmates.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah. And that's one thing that obviously they're listening to feedback, is people really wanted that chance for a discussion board, some sort of discussion board. Now what's really cool, so I submitted that, I have a done, so in my stream. There's another one that it's called question, and this one, geography, check for understanding. List 3 states that border New York State. Answer, your answer. So this is private. I am just submitting this to my teacher. No other students will see my comment. And it's funny, my son had to do this for his homework.
So you studied too?
Yeah.
Now, some other things I noticed there too is that it has some due dates for the student.
So yeah, these 2 are graded, and there's due dates, these 2 questions.
Okay, so that's some other things that I'm noticing. Okay.
Don't give it all away, Rosie.
No, but I'm just
no, I think it's
I'm just
important.
noticing
Okay.
them.
So I'm going to go down, and we have questions, which is very new, right, of 2 weeks ago. So you can impress your friends by talking about that. There are also some announcements. So I'm going to scroll down. Sorry for the scroll. Let me find one. Okay.
Oh, you're having to scroll and go all the way through that.
Right. We'll show you something later that will help you. So this one is an oldie but goodie. There's an announcement. Make sure this is something that you're announcing for students. Okay. So there's no turn in button. There's no due date, but you can add, this one has a link. So click on the video below, the link below, log into BrainPop, watch the video, complete the handout in the video center. So if I click, it opens in a new window. I would log on, watch the video. See how there's that tab, and then I can just go back to Google Classroom. Okay, so that is an announcement.
But you know what I notice here is that there's some comments here.
And this is, my teacher has allowed comments.
Oh,
okay, so, and you can see that students have left comments, and there's a place where I can add a class comment, so everybody's going to see this.
Okay.
If I did leave a comment, I can always delete my comment.
Okay.
But yes, that's there.
Now you said the difference here for the announcement is it doesn't have a due date.
There's no due date.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's great for teachers to get out links, something that you're not going to have them turn in. This one is to complete in centers. So that's an announcement. We had a question, two types of question, and then an announcement. And now let's look at an assignment. And again, sorry for the scroll. I'm going to go to the top. And here is an announcement. So I'm going to click on it. And I see that there's the learning targets. I can write an argument to support claims. And then the directions. State an object that best represents you, a phone, outlet, cell phone, and support your claim with reasoning and evidence to provide a strong argument. This essay will be a way of introducing yourself. Okay, so add a document. Down here, you can have your, as a student, I'm going to add, and this is really what we did before, right? We went into our drive and added a document. Now we just add docs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Oh, I hope they're watching.
Okay, sometimes it takes a minute. Oh, nice. Okay, so I see, looks like there's a Google Doc here. I'm going to click on it to open. And check that out. They already titled it with the name of the assignment. Just think how much, so all that time Google Classroom is saving you, right?
Named the title of the assignment and put the student's name in there. That's nice. Oh, but you still have to put your heading on your paper.
A small price. You know.
I know, small price, but such a time saver.
So the student, again, would write their paragraph. And when they're done, see this turn in? They don't need to share because Google Classroom is doing all that sharing on the back end side. So they just go ahead and turn in their assignment. It brings it back to Google Classroom. Yes, I want to turn it in. Okay, and I've turned in my assignment. Okay, see there's this unsubmit. Once you submit it to your teacher or turn it in, you can't keep working on it. So just so you know, if a student wants to, oh shoot, I forgot to do something, they can unsubmit it to you and then work on it and resubmit it. So while we're here, I just wanted to point that out. Okay, now see this arrow, I'm going to come back out of the assignment and we're still back in the stream. There's a couple of other things in the stream that are good to go over. So this on the side is due tomorrow, due today, and you can view all of your assignments. And that takes you to all of your classes. So you can look in just one class or all of your classes. This is also, if you click on the done, where a student would see their grades. So this is kind of like the to-do list, you know, for the student.
Exactly. It's really nice. That way it organizes everything right there for your students. And, you know, if a student says, what do you want me to work on? Well, they just need to go to their assignments and it shows them exactly what they should be working on.
With due dates. Now to come back out of here, I'm going to click over on the classes. And then you can see the classes that I'm enrolled in, and I click on the class that I want to be in. Again, these are hot dogs over here, or the menu, the class menu. I can click here, and this was that first view. Click right into the class, or I can click here and go to all my assignments, or if I have different classes, you can just go right here. Okay. When a student does go to see all their classes, they have these 3 dots here. Just so you know, they can unenroll out of your class. And then that's an option for them. So I'm going to go back into the class, but we know they're not going to do that. All right, so that was the stream. There's 3 tabs here. The next one is the classmates. And here it's just really simple, all the other students in the class. You can see there's this mail icon. Currently it is turned off, except for a few of our schools. So students cannot use that Gmail. Okay, if at some point that changes, they would be able to do that. The last tab is the About. And this is where, as a teacher, or you can put, I see information on my class. So I see my teachers here, and there's links. What's important is this Google Drive folder. So we were in the Drive earlier. So what Google Classroom does is it creates a folder in every student and teacher's Drive. So I'm going to click on that and look what it looks like. So I'm going to go to their Google Drive, and everyone will have this folder, Classroom. And when you click in it, you're going to have all of your classes. Joe, we're just in one class. And if I open that class, is all my work. So everything that they're doing in Google Classroom is organized for them. Oh my gosh, that's nice, okay? And it's in their Drive. They don't really even have to go here, but just so you know that that's the back end part of it, okay? That's where all the documents are stored. Okay, so good. That was a quick student view. If you could post to the discussion board one thing you notice or wonder about the student view. And I'm going to stop talking for a second. You want to jump in? Sorry about that. That was something you notice or wonder about the student view. Okay, we have some feedback you're probably reading in the discussion board also. Someone asked if a student can ask questions. If that is turned on, so if the teacher has this class comment turned on, the student can post a question. So students can leave a class, easy to navigate, good. All right, so our next, we're gonna jump into the teacher view. So just a preview, we're gonna ask you after we talk about the teacher view to post a difference that you notice between the student and the teacher view.
You know,
Okay. Yeah.
Did you already leave your student?
No.
There's a question here asking, is there a way that a student can post a question to their teacher?
Oh, okay. And I think I just mentioned that, but for an assignment, if the teacher has this on the class comment, the student can go ahead and ask a comment. And that is a public, it says add class assignment. This is a new update. So the student knows the whole class is going to see that. Okay, I'm going to click in the assignment. And when the student can also add a private comment here. Okay, so they could ask a question.
That's private just between the student and the teacher. So it just depends how they want the question to be addressed.
Okay.
Lots of people are talking about the organization. Some people are saying, you know, some people are commenting about students may or may not see the comments depending on how it's created exactly right. They really love how it's organized with the assignments. And,
Okay, perfect. So that's a good segue to jump into the teacher view. And there we go. So as a teacher, once you link in Google Chrome, you're going to want to use Google Chrome. Google Classroom works best in Google Chrome. Your accounts are linked, so you do have all of these district bookmarks here. Google Classroom is not there yet. It will be coming. So you can just type classroom.google.com. And then I have it bookmarked right there, so I just go right there. You can see I have a lot of classes, and soon you will too. And you can just click right in your classroom. So you have that home or that all your classes, and then you're right in your classroom. So a couple different things. You can notice that there's 2 teachers here, and we'll show you later. You can add more than 1 teacher, which is great for integrated classrooms. There's a select a theme or upload a photo. So you can personalize your class, and they just added a bunch of new photos here. And that really helps students to remember your class. You can even put your own photo of your students or your cat or your dog, whatever, to personalize it, your classroom. So it's a nice way to personalize it. Now, we still have the stream here, and there's this plus in the lower right-hand corner. And this is where, as a teacher, you can create a question, create an announcement. So I'm just going to click on that. And, oops, I said create an announcement. Okay, something you want to get out to the students. And you can put your announcement here. Again, you can add an attachment. You can add files from your Google Drive, a link from YouTube, or a link from another website. What's nice here is if you teach 2 sections of English, you can assign something to multiple classes. And then you can go ahead and post. What's really nice is you can also save as draft, which I know a lot of teachers are doing to get ahead, but also to collaborate with a co-teacher. I create an assignment in the draft. The co-teacher can come into the drafts, look at those assignment or the announcement and edit it.
Oh, did you say I could have a co-teacher?
Yep. I said that earlier, Rosie.
Oh.
You must have been busy on the discussion board.
Oh, okay. See?
Just kidding.
The fun things I miss.
I know. We were really excited about that update, and now that's like old news, right? Isn't it?
All these other new features.
So that draft is really cool. So again, we're back in the stream, and you can also create an assignment here. And you noticed on our assignments, we put numbers, and that's just helpful for the students to find it. So you can add that, the description, learning targets. Again, an assignment has due dates, an announcement does not. And you can add all those media items.
You know, I've had several people asking about different types of files that they could attach.
Okay.
Somebody asked about a smartboard file.
You can attach any file, but they're not going to be able to do anything with it, right? You could, depends. If you attach a PDF, they're going to be able to view it. If you attach a Word doc, they'll be able to view it. Remember, we're in our Drive, so you can't type, the student's not going to be able to type in it.
Right. Okay,
unless it's something like a Google Doc.
Right. So we just want you to be thinking that the students are working in the Google environment. And so we do cover a lot of those things about converting things over and things like that in our intermediate class. And we do talk about it a little bit more inside the webinar once you get going in the online class.
Yeah, kind of all those how-tos are in the online class.
Exactly.
Actually, just to get Smart Notebook, there is that viewer.
Yes, there is.
So there probably is a way that but we'd have to look at that.
Yeah, or if you want some more particular information about a particular piece of it, feel free to always email us and we can get you some more specifics on those.
Okay, so that was an assignment. I have an assignment here. Again, these 3 dots on the right is where I can edit an assignment. So I want to change the due date. I can go ahead and edit it. Another new feature is those 3 dots move to top. So one thing you can't really do is order things, but now you can move an assignment to the top, which is really nice. Okay, so that's editing. And if your students start commenting away, okay, as they will the first time that they get in, you can always delete any comment that a student leaves if it's inappropriate or you don't want it there. Okay, you have that power. You can mute the student. We wish it was that easy, but you can mute them so they can't post. One person can't post a comment to to your assignment or your announcement. There's also a way that you can change the whole class, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so that's our stream. Again, all the how-tos will really be on the online component for the next week. We just want to give you the quick overview. The second, over to the left here, just like the students could view all of their assignments, the teacher has that same feature with their assignments, and it will show all their assignments to review, and then you can move it over to the reviewed. Okay, and then to go back in, again, you click on your class. The next tab is the students. And there's a lot more. Remember we said you could change the settings for the whole class. So if you select the whole class under actions, you can mute them so they can you can mute them, or you can change here. Only the teacher can comment or post. I would start out that way, and then when you want them to comment, turn it on. And they love commenting, so you just have to make sure you teach about that, pre-teach before you turn it on. There's some real value to it, but you can change those settings here. There's also, this is where you would invite a student. and we go through this in the class, but you can click and you'll invite a whole contact group, or you can search one single student and add them. If you're probably for elementary, you're going to invite your students, especially if you have them for math and you want to set up something for science, for language arts. You may invite them to all of those classes. For high school, you're not doing that. You have too many students. They have this class code here, and you just give the students the code and they go to the plus and add the code to join your class. Yeah. Yeah, jump in anytime, Rosie.
We had a couple of people talking about the comment feature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they were saying, you know, how do you control the inappropriate comments and things like that? I know we've addressed that before.
Yeah, but this is right where you would do that. And again, the full class, you can change it to, in the beginning, only the teacher can comment.
And it's always the best time, you know, before you're going to roll anything out in your classroom, you really want to have that teachable moment to discuss about what your expectations are, the reason why you're using something. And maybe you're trying to comment on just to check some prior knowledge or just to get some ideas from the students. And then you're turning that right off. You're not always leaving that feature on.
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to control it so quickly.
Exactly.
Okay. The last tab is the About. And this is where you can add that teacher. See, there's an invite a teacher. And you can invite multiple teachers to that class. This is also a place where you can add your resources. It doesn't change. It's not in the stream, so it's a kind of a go-to place for students. And you can have different links down here. Now,
oh, the fun stuff.
Yeah.
New features.
And this is another new feature. You can, there's Google Classroom integration now with Google Classroom. So if you click on the calendar, you can see that week view, and it's pulling up the Google Calendar within Classroom, and you can see the due dates. So that is the calendar, which is nice for students.
Yeah.
If you actually click on the assignment, it takes you right to that assignment too. There's no excuses for not doing stuff, right?
No. And such easy of access, such organization.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting.
So if you'll go back, can I tell them the next big one?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. So right down there with the calendar, you've got View in Classroom, which is the one that Larissa just showed. And then the next one, which we're not going to click on to go there, and you guys can do this, but if you decided that you wanted to open the calendar and have it open in Google Calendar, which would be outside of Google Classroom, this was a huge request that lots of people had, was they wanted to link up their classroom so that parents had access, so they could see what are the assignments that my kids have. What should my kids be doing? Because they could not get inside of Google Classroom because it is secure. It is locked down so that other people outside of our CSD cannot get in. Now, with this linking outside to Google Calendar, it's made it available. It's a wonderful asset, but we can't talk about it in the intro class because there's a lot more to it. So it will be part of another one of our classes on Google Classroom.
Yep. So I'm going to come back to the stream. There's one thing I want to show you, and we already talked about when you go up to classes and you see all of your classes. We showed this on the student side. On the teacher side, there's this 3 dots. And if you used Google Classroom last year, here's where you can archive your class. Okay. So as that would be the place to archive it. And then if you come back here, at the bottom, there's an archived classes. So you can always get it back. But that's a nice way to clean it up, is to archive those classes. Okay, let's we had this assignment here, number 11, and again, there's the due date, and I see one student is done. So I'm going to go ahead and look at this because as a student, we submitted it. Let's look at it from the teacher side. So when I open it up, I can see that here's the student that is done. Remember, they added that document. And this is where I can view the work. So I'm going to click on it to open it. It opens in a new tab. Whoa, Joe is not doing his work. So I can leave a comment. Be more specific. Students love these comments. It's a great way to edit back and forth.
Gives that instant feedback.
Exactly. And that's what teachers say. There's so much they're more on top of their grading, and they're getting back to students right away. So I look at the work, and then I'm going to come back to Google Classroom, and I'm going to add the grade. You know what? I don't want this out of 100 points, so I'm going to change it. I want it out of 4 points, so a rubric out of 4, and I can change it there. I'm going to add a grade of 0, and see how it automatically check marks it? So when I'm done, then I can return it to the student. So I graded it. The student can't work on it yet till I return it for them. That's that back end, how the sharing works. So when I return it, I'm going to return it to that student. Okay, so that's that back and forth. And we wanted to make sure you saw that, how easy it is to see. You can bring it up at any time. And then I'm going to come back out of that. All right, so that was the teacher view a lot. So I want you to take a minute, and if you could post a difference that you notice between the student and teacher view. We like to keep you busy, you know. Actually, just keep Rosie busy. No, the best part of this class is that discussion board, I know. I'm going to mute myself for a minute while you post.
No, you're not.
Okay, good. Oh, we did, we talked about have there been many questions about assignments and attachments? I know we talked about it a little before, and we clarify this more, but when you're in Google Classroom and you're in an assignment, students cannot type on an attached Word document or PDF. right? They can create one like we showed. So if you attach a Word doc or PDF, students can only view it. All right. And we talk a lot more about ways you can work around this in the intermediate. So that's another plug for the intermediate. But just to clarify.
So you're saying that if you want your students to write and type on something, it needs to be something like what you're just going to show.
No, yeah, it can't be Word or PDF.
Okay. But if they just wanted to view it,
that's fine.
Okay.
If you want them to type, and I know you guys like to jump ahead. We do this in the intermediate, but a lot of people want to get started. If you attach a Google Doc for them, and you can send it a different one to each student, then they would be able to type in that document and submit it. So works great for a graphic organizer.
Yeah. But it sort of just kind of makes sense. Think about it, because we're in Google, so we kind of need to work with what they have.
That's actually a good way to think about it. If it has Google in front of it, you'll be able to work with it.
Yeah.
We suggest starting simple. Just have them add a document. All right. So a lot of that you're going to create an announcement, create an assignment in the online component of this class. In the beginning, we did talk about any smartphone. There's an app for Google Classroom. You do want to make sure that you download Google Docs, Google Drive onto your phone also, and then you'll be able to do a ton. You can look at assignments. You can add a photo.
Yeah, and we have heard back from teachers where they're like, it makes it very quick and easy for me to quickly see who has turned in their work, quickly give them some feedback. That way, if a student needs to revisit some work, they can do it. And it's not just that once, turn it in, and they're done.
And often our students don't have internet access at home, but they often do have access to a smartphone.
Exactly.
So that's nice too.
And it's also, for some reason, we know our students, and our students somehow they like to capture themselves, selfies, the pictures, the videos, just those moments. And when they can submit those, turn those in, share it with you, then end up sharing it with their classmates, that's the motivator. That's the engagement piece that sometimes if we can bring that into the classroom, that's the piece that will grab them.
And that's a piece where they're not unenrolling themselves. They want to be there, right? So that's cool. Just a quick overview. We started out and we talked about your options. You can share files using the Drive. They create it. This is really good for any grade. Google Classroom, we suggest grade 3 through 12, okay? And there's not a lot of setup, as you can see. We also talked about creating a class in e-learning, and that our suggested is for teachers 7 through 12. So 7, 12, you have options of any of these three, whatever your comfort level is. Good. We are nearing the end. So we would like you to post something you learned or a question you may have. And I think Rosie was going to chime in with some discussion board info.
Randy mentioned out here, so if you wanted to modify something for your students, so if you had an assignment and I wanted to modify it for some, you could create a different assignment within Google Classroom, the same Google Classroom.
Yes, you could. And then, so you might have one group go to one assignment.
Like to assignment 1A, and a different group go to 1B, a different group go to 1C, and a different group go to 1B.
And that's a good way, since you can't just assign it to certain students, that you're clear in that assignment details or the title or the description.
Yeah, that way you can really differentiate.
Someone's thinking out there.
I know. Good job.
All right. So I'm going to, if you could go ahead and again, post that one thing you learned or one question you have. And then we're going to be here, but when you're done with that, I hope you get on with your evening, and I hope you enjoyed learning about Google Classroom. This is the first component of the class. After you submit your ticket out the door, you can, the next component of the class is the online class, more of the how-to, and that is in the tasks in eLearning, and you have till next Wednesday to complete that. Hopefully you'll set up your class by this Friday.
Okay. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we'll see you online.
All right, great. So we'll be here for a couple more minutes, and thank you. It's Larissa again. For those of you that are still here, so there was a lot here. We do post this in the webinar, so we'll edit it and get it posted in the task too for you, so you can come back and revisit any part that if you choose.